Welcome to another episode of Bored and Annoyed. Now, you will die.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to another
Palpatine.
episode. Yeah.
I'm just jumping. I just had to go right over you there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Palpatine. What do you think? Or we'll wait and discuss what we think of this.
We will wait and discuss. Patience is found in a Jedi and not a
but
Sith.
neither of us are Jedi.
Yeah, I guess we're a little closer to like that little guy who sits on Jabba the Hutt.
It's always absolutes with us.
Right, yeah.
Alex.
Bored and annoyed.
But yeah, news.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Jackson, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm home with the movies.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Yeah, really.
Crushed
These
that.
intros are just getting stronger as the weeks go on.
Yep, they're just watch us careen off that edge.
Right. But yeah, news. Any news?
Any news? Yeah, we got some news.
Okay.
John Cho. Everybody loves John Cho.
John Cho, that is Harold.
Yes, Harold from Harold and Kumar.
Yes.
Or George Takei's character.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah. Sulu. There we
Sulu.
go. Named it. Got it.
Searching.
Yeah, Searching. Yep. Great actor. I like him a lot.
The MILF guy from American Pie.
Was that really? What?
That's like where he got started. Yeah.
Really? Okay. I haven't watched American Pie probably since it came out. But
now you know.
Yeah. So Netflix is making a Cowboy Bebop live action TV show.
And he's casting it, right? I saw this.
Yes, Spike Spiegel. Yep. This is pretty exciting. I'm just excited for a live action Cowboy Bebop. I think this is going to be one of those things where you're like, yep, I probably could have watched this anime because it's actually pretty cool. But there's a part of me, and people are going to just hate me, that says there is nothing about Spike Spiegel that says that he has to be Asian.
Okay.
It's not in the name.
Is he Asian in the show?
I mean, he's Asian insofar as
he's an anime character.
He's an anime character and they speak Japanese. But half these people, are born in space, or are aliens or whatever. And there's nothing about them that says that's Asian or that's Caucasian. The only differentiations that you can really make are like when they have like somebody of like Spanish or Middle Eastern descent or a black person and then a white person. Like those are the only ones that you can tell.
Otherwise, everyone's just kind of cream color.
They're just cream
you don't
color.
know what they are.
So yeah, I'm like, it's fine. Like good for him. We need more. There's so few Asian characters in modern pop culture that it's like, okay, good. We got one. That's nice. Didn't need to be though.
Okay, so are you saying that you think that they're going out of their way to make sure that he's Asian so they can avoid all the whitewashing
the stuff
controversy shit that other people who have tried to adapt this shit have gone through? The
shit that Ghost in the Shell went through is what they're doing. And that's my same argument with Ghost in the Shell, in that I know her name is something Kusanagi, or what, Major Kusanagi.
Okay.
But there are Caucasians that are born in Japan, I'm sure. And there's nothing explicitly in there that says that she's Japanese. Like, yeah, she does have black hair, but also she has a robot body. Like,
people just need to get a grip. But I do like John Cho. So.
I do like John Cho. So I'm very excited for this. This could be special.
All right.
I've got hopes. Got hopes and dreams.
Terminator. They'll be crushed, I'm sure.
There's quite a few things that are coming up that I'm excited for, and I'm sure they're just
like Terminator.
Terminator has a title. Terminator: Dark Fate.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Don't care about the title. Hopefully, it's a good Terminator movie. I don't know. I mean, the pictures don't give me like.
They don't get you psyched.
No, not psyched.
I mean,
it's they're forgetting about everything past 2, right?
Yes.
3, 4, and 5 don't exist?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's better.
That's way better.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm always happy to see Arnold, I guess. Mm-hmm. Especially as that character.
It's nice to see him back, even though, like, we did see him in the last one. It's not like he wasn't there. And it's not like he wasn't there for 3.
Well, and it's funny, though, because I would argue that him being in the last one, even though, like, part 4 with Christian Bale was like more of like a real attempt at making like a real Terminator movie. I still enjoyed even the shitty 5th one more just because Arnold was there. I feel like he's essential to Terminator. If you don't have Arnold, you don't have Terminator to me.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay. I mean, he's the thread.
He's what makes the second one so great.
The worst one is the McGee one where they had Christian Bale and Sam Worthington, and it was like the future with.
I think the third one is worse than that. I do.
No.
Because the third one dives into self-parody, and I hate when series dive into self-parody.
Yeah, but it's still more fun. It's got Arnold. It has like a few good action sequences.
But the acting is so bad. Like
Nick Stahl, Claire Danes.
It's really bad. And the narrative is bad, and the new Terminator is bad. I'm not saying that Annihilation is that what it was? Was that Annihilation? Salvation. Whatever. It was one of those like Asians, you know, like you remember when we went through that period where everything was an Asian?
Yeah. Well, it sucked. McGee should be punched.
I don't know. It's not a good movie, but I'd still, anyways, getting a little off topic, but yeah, the new one, Arnold being in it does not guarantee it's going to be a good movie.
No, but it makes it better.
It does make it better. Yes. Hellboy getting panned by critics.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into that. I'm sure I'm going to see it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I could have told you so.
Yeah.
You fucked up, you're idiots. You're all morons.
Right. Well, are you talking to our listeners?
Everyone who decided this was the strategy that you wanted to take Hellboy in. You had Guillermo, Mr. like one of the hottest directors in the world, like the man wants to make Hellboy 3.
Right.
Everyone wants to return. I know Selma Blair is having health issues, but you could have made a relatively cheap superhero movie, as you know, in comparison to other superhero movies. And you could have continued what is thought of as a pretty good duo of movies, turned it into a trilogy and made some money.
Right.
Instead, you fucking told them all to fuck off, and you made this bland looking, it looks awful. It looks terrible.
Well, I want to, kind of do like a retrospective on this. We kind of called this. We kind of said you're making this for nobody because it's not different enough to appeal to the people who didn't like the original series, and it's too close to the original series, and you're not continuing the original series, so you're pissing off the people that like that. So you really effectively have alienated everyone.
Good job.
Yeah. And that's what's happening here with the critics. It's going to be really interesting to hear, like, I'm hearing that this is Fantastic Four, the reboot, a level bad.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't either. We might have to, maybe some week we'll add that, pretty
little
close.
BNA reviews episode of Fantastic Four reboot.
Yeah. Fant Four Stick, as it's known in the community, the film community. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens because this had like 6 producers on it or 8 producers or some shit. They all like fought during post-production. The director did not get final cut on the movie. Apparently it was just this giant hack job, all this drama on set. Yeah, apparently it's a dumpster fire.
I mean, obviously if I go in and I have fun with it, I could come out surprised.
Right.
Like I have not seen it yet.
Right.
But I'm a fan of the other two. So even if you made a moderately okay movie, I'm not, like you said, it's just you're setting me up to not like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't, I have an allegiance to the other two movies.
Yep. Well, and I understand why they didn't, because the second was not that...
It didn't make a ton of money, but it's good.
It's a good movie. That's the problem, is that, like we were talking before the podcast about, he wanted like a budget of $100 million, and which was a jump of like 25 to 50 from what he had on the second. And I just think that they were like, well, we can't justify that because the last one like barely made 200 or something at the worldwide box.
Yeah,
it just did not.
I feel like these movies now have almost like a cult following type thing going for them. Like you talk to people about the Hellboy movies and they like them.
I do wonder. Like, does Netflix and the fact that these are on streaming services now, does that help build the cult status of these? Does that help build a fan base that wasn't there for the original? But there's also something to be said about like, a franchise and having a heat behind the franchise. And how many years has it been since the second Hellboy at this point? Like,
hold on though. So I guess another counter to that, and I'm looking this up now. Do we know how much this new Hellboy cost?
I have no idea.
Because if it costs $100 million, then their point is moot.
Right.
Like they don't.
Well, I'm sure that their thought was, and I'm not saying I believe this, but the thought was, well, maybe it's the fact that it's Ron Perlman.
50.
It cost 50. Yeah. So that's what it was, is they didn't want to up that money. This is our base for Hellboy. This is where we're leaving it.
Oh my God. Right now, though, as far as Wikipedia for box office right now, it's only at 4.9 million after like the first 2 or 3 days.
That's okay. So that would be all of Friday, like Friday as a whole. So we're looking at.
It's going to make less on.
We could be looking at like 11 million or less for opening weekends.
I would say less.
Probably less. 4.9
million.
Okay,
so about 5 million.
So 5
just
million.
even double it. Make it 10 million in the first weekend, and they paid 50 million to make it.
Yeah, it's going to be right around 9 to 11.
It's
right
not,
around there.
A Hellboy 3 would have done better.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, well, not probably at this point. I think it's pretty certain it would.
Yes. So good job.
We'll let you know what we think when we see it.
Yep.
This is really exciting to me. Because I have respect for both of these actors. Angelina Jolie and Kumail Nanjiani from The Big Sick.
Okay.
Are both joining the Eternals for the Marvel movie. The Marvel.
I don't know anything about them.
I don't either.
But we're starting to rev up this next phase of Marvel.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I like Kumail Nanjiani quite a bit. I think he's really funny. He's in that new episode of the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone, actually.
I need to see that still.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah, lots of shit we watched this week, I'm sure, for both of us. So, but yeah, that's exciting. Angelina Jolie joining.
Yeah, it's funny. Now we're going to get like, okay, so we got Jake Gyllenhaal. We got Angelina Jolie, the big sick guy.
Yeah.
Now we're going to like phase in this other group of actors.
Yes.
I don't know. It's just kind of funny.
I mean, like, is DiCaprio going to come in? Actually, I would love to see DiCaprio as like a villain in one of these.
Why not? Fuck it.
He could do a one-off. I know that he's like, I'm too big to do.
When's Russell Crowe joining the MCU?
Dude, it's coming. I guarantee it's coming.
Why not?
I mean, the thing is like, if this thing keeps going, if it keeps going, they're just going to get everybody in there. I mean, you could be a has-been and like they'll throw you in.
All of a sudden, Clint Eastwood is in the MCU. And
Okay, they'll never.
Redford. Oh yeah, he already was.
Redford already was, but yeah, they'll never get Eastwood.
It would be great if they did.
It would. Then it will never happen. It will never happen.
Clint Eastwood as Dr. Doom.
But yeah, we were also talking about David Harbour and Hellboy and whatnot. He is joining Rachel Weisz. And there's this Handmaid's Tale guy, O.T. Fagbendel. It's a weird name. But yeah, those three.
We shouldn't be using gay slurs on our show.
I'm sorry. It's just a name. They're both joining Black Widow.
Okay.
Or all three of them are
David
joining.
Harbour is in 2 comic book movies in the span of like a year and a half, probably.
Yes.
Okay.
And I also think David Harbour knew to jump ship. He was like, all right, this Hellboy series isn't going anywhere. Might as well, be a bit player in another series.
I'm so annoyed that they made that movie.
That's why we're called Bored and Annoyed.
Oh my God. It's so irritating. Sorry to the listeners if I can't get over it, but
you just know so much better.
Well, it's just like, I'm sorry, but fucking the second I heard about it, I knew it was a disaster.
Right.
Like and then you saw a trailer and you were like, well, what the fuck is this?
Yep. The only thing I ever held on with that movie was David Harbour himself, which I have read his performance is the best thing in the movie, which is the one thing I called. The whole thing could be garbage, but he'll be fine.
Okay. We'll see.
I still think he'll be fine. You won't like him as much as Ron Perlman.
Of course I won't.
But he'll probably be fine.
Although, what if I go see it and I'm like, this is just infinitely better than
I will laugh.
Hellboy? I mean, it's possible.
I will laugh. There's no fucking way. The production design alone.
It looks terrible. Yeah, it's true. Dude, remember that awesome character in the first one with like the blade, like the undead
Nazi
dude who
Nazi
like
with
they
the
wound
sand?
him? Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Or the scene where they go into like the underground place. You remember that? Like it was like the underground market.
Sure.
That was fantastic.
That was in the second one.
That was in the second one.
Yeah, the tumor that like was talking and shit. Yeah.
It's awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah, you know, he's really good. Guillermo's really good. If he wants to do something, help him achieve his vision of whatever he's trying to do.
And, you know, just kind of keep it going with the Hellboy hate. Is Shazam is expected to beat Hellboy this weekend.
Great. Good.
Yeah. Oh, man. God, so much news. Jeremy Renner is getting his Hawkeye show for the Disney Plus streaming. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, the Disney Plus. We just segue into that right away.
Yeah.
So $7 a month. It looks like.
Yep.
It's going to have all the old Disney shit, all the new Disney shit.
Yep. They're doing a Lady and Tramp TV series, which is going to get the kids. It's like a live action, like they got like real puppies and shit.
So I expect them to have their own sovereign nation within like 10 years. They're just going to own everything.
Well, and I'm not, you know, some people are like, oh, this is going to come out. This is the Netflix killer. It's like, there is no Netflix killer at this point. There is nothing.
It's going to be tough to peel away people from Netflix.
Well, Netflix has too much brand faith now with people.
It's true.
So no, this is a companion piece to Netflix, because at this point, like, does anybody really love Hulu that much? Like, does Hulu really have good shit?
No,
not really. Amazon
has the Prime members because they have the free shipping, 2-day shipping. That's the reason I have it.
Right.
You know.
But like, if you didn't have that, would you really have it? Like, I know you like Tin Star, but I mean,
no, I would just go on. Like, I love Tin Star and I like some of the Amazon shit, but I would probably just figure out another way to watch it, or I would rent, or I would buy the seasons.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I wouldn't sign up for Prime streaming service just for their streaming service. Certainly not at the price I pay for Prime.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's kind of a benefit to Prime. It's just an added bonus that you get their streaming service.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. We got a logo for the for the Winter Soldier Falcon series. So I'm excited for that one. I think that'll be fun.
It's all going to be good. I'm pumped.
It's
Mandalorian.
Yep, we got a logo for that too. Yeah, it's gonna be good, man.
Is there another Star Wars show they're planning, or is that the only one? I mean, you got to assume they're going to do like
I'm sure they're going to do other ones. I know that there's some news coming out of like Star Wars Weekend, which we'll get into because you actually went there.
Yes.
For the first day, but I know that they're planning on taking a hiatus.
Yes.
After the newest episode comes out. That could
just be movies, though, right?
It could just be movies.
Yeah.
I think it would be wise for them to regroup. Because I expect the newest one to maybe have a slightly better box office than Last Jedi, but probably not much better just because of the damage that's been done to the franchise. That's my opinion, though.
Once more, Star Wars will rule the box office.
Yeah, there's no way.
We will have peace.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's probably going to sound terrible when it's played back, but
I'll tweak it so you sound like a mouse.
Once more, Star Wars will rule the box office.
No, I there's no way that the newest Star Wars is going to make as much as Endgame.
No.
Yeah, I love that. Let's do trailer time. Trailer time.
Lion King trailer.
Whoa.
Looks pretty good. Scar looks great. I was worried about Scar. They didn't go like black mane, but it didn't matter. And I was like worried that they wouldn't go black. Right. It just looks like a completely different character than the rest of the lions.
Yes. I like him. I like Chewie Ejiofor's voice. Sure, it's not Jeremy Irons.
That's going to take some time.
Well, the problem is that some people are like, "Oh, well, he's not Jeremy Irons." And it's like, "Yeah, but we have like 3 lines from him." Like saying like I can't because the thing that I like about Jeremy Irons' character is that he had different ways of saying different things depending on who he was talking to. Because he could be sly, or he could be like, "Oh, Mufasa," and he could be all like passive aggressive.
Awesome.
But he could also, with the hyenas, be this like force, you know? And I think that saying that Chewie Twell Ejiofor can't match that is probably selling him a little short.
No, but if you're going to get James Earl Jones, it would have been neat to have Jeremy Irons too. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
It would have been cool to have, the brothers are played by the same people as they were.
Yes.
You know? But he looks great.
He looks great. Everything
looks
great. Some people are also saying online, I know that, why do you care about these people? I just want to sort of address what they're saying, which is,
okay.
They're like, it's just, the shots from the original. It's like, yeah.
But they look amazing.
But they look awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, yes. Okay. I'm of two minds on this, which is, yeah, it's a little creatively bankrupt to just do a shot for shot remake. And I'm not sure that that's what this is going to be. In fact, I'm pretty sure it won't be, because I know Disney is smarter than that. But it's like, at the same time, if you liked the original, why wouldn't you like this?
Well, it's funny too, because people are always bitching about like, okay, do something original. It's like, guys, look at the list of films that are out right now at your local theaters.
Right.
There's something original for you to see. If you have a problem with it, like, I'm sorry, these are just added bonuses that you can see if you want to.
Right.
Nobody's forcing you to see this.
Well, and then, like, well, why don't they spend $100 million on original ideas? Because you never see original ideas. True. Do you not understand? Like, if you want to complain about that, then fine, but you better have gone and like supported Snowpiercer or some shit like that.
Yeah, you should. Well, and I guess it's not wholly original, but Alita could have used your help.
Yeah.
It's a new movie franchise.
Right. Yeah. So fuck off. I hate that argument. Joker trailer.
Oh, yeah, that looks good too. Although then Jay Bauman from Red Letter Media had to go shit on my birthday cake.
Oh, what's that? What?
He posted something after the trailer was released, and I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, this looks fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. But obviously I give a lot of respect to them, and he's fucking, he knows his shit. And let me see if I can find it here. I believe right after he pointed out who made the movie.
Uh-huh.
I'm all for Taxi Driver, but with the Joker, and Joaquin Phoenix looks great in it, but also Todd Phillips is a shitty filmmaker with no sense of scene construction or pacing. So I don't know, whatever. Trailer's good. Maybe it'll turn out to be a backdoor King of Comedy sequel. So I looked up Todd Phillips.
Yeah, director of the Hangover.
Yeah, and there's nothing on his list here that I see, and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of excited to see what he does with the Joker. Like, he did War Dogs, Due Date, Road Trip, Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
But the trailer looks good.
Right. Well, I mean, the problem is like, I've only seen like those comedies that he's done.
Right.
So I don't know what he can do outside of that.
I mean, it looks like that's all he does, though.
Right. So I don't think that Phoenix would have signed up if he did not have faith in this director. I will say this though. The Joker is a multifaceted character, and I like a lot of different aspects about him. And this so far, and it's only one trailer, but this so far has only shown me the tragic side of the Joker.
Sure. And
I miss the humor and the dark humor and the dark cynicism that he brings, and I don't see that currently. So I'm a little concerned that I'm worried that they might do something a little too like he's just sad and depressed all the time. That would be my fear.
Well, it would be the one thing that you just listed that they have not done in film, though.
Is make the Joker sad.
Like the tragic, the idea of you getting to know how he became way.
He needs to end up being
funny,
the Joker, and being, because that's the thing, is like, you're scared of him, but he's funny at the same time. Like Heath Ledger's performance, you laugh at that shit because it is funny.
Oh, Jack Nicholson was funny too.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah.
I
mean, and same thing with Mark Hamill's Joker. You laugh at their shit. It's dark, but it's funny. And I really hope that they manage that here. I really do. But
how awesome is it that Joaquin Phoenix is playing the Joker?
That's the thing that tips me over the edge of like, just have a little faith, Alex. It'll be okay.
He's so good.
Addams Family trailer. Did you see this?
Yeah.
I'm not on board with this. I don't think it looks very good. I think the animation,
had fun with that trailer.
the
That was
animation
fun.
looks like it came out of like
It looks like
2002.
it looks like one of your hated like DreamWorks animation.
it
type
looks
things.
very lazy.
But it's like, I think it's going for like the old comic strip or cartoon look or something.
I get that. I still think it looks lazy.
I think it'll be fun. It's
And
got a decent cast.
It's got a decent cast, but to me, in animated films, that means nothing because it feels like if you're a big actor at this point, it's like just the checklist: comic book movie, CGI animated voice work.
It is that type of animation where it looks like if it was like a coloring book, you know, like, you know, the little fill function on paint, like everyone, like just, they took there's just one color of yellow for, you know, fucking Uncle Fester, and they just clicked on him and he all became one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and there's no textures there, really.
Right. There's no texture. There's no detail besides like a little like mark on someone's chin or whatever.
So I'm not a fan of the look. I did not make me laugh. That's for sure.
It made me laugh. I like the trailer. I like when they blow up that whole concept of like the game they're playing in the house where he like is gonna like explode a random room. And, I don't know. It looks funny.
I mean, it reminds you of what you liked about the original, but does it really?
I'm ready.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not on board. I'm just a party pooper today. You know, energy vampire.
Energy vampire. Yeah, I'm starting to get sleepy.
What else? Oh, Wine Country. This looks terrible.
I will not watch this trailer, Alex.
Yeah, I know. I tried to get him to watch it before the podcast. Nope, wasn't having it. Amy Poehler, all of her friends from SNL. Can this genre just die? This whole like, we're in our 40s and 50s and we're all going to get together and boy, we sure are growing apart and we got to have this weekend to party and somebody got on the drugs and I don't understand.
This sounds like the Scarlett Johansson movie you saw that semi-recently.
Yep.
Like
and
Girls Trip or whatever the fuck it was called.
I saw the Black Lady version with Queen Latifah also. I'm just done with this. And I'm done with, doesn't matter what gender it is, I'm done with this fucking story. It's tired. It's boring. Every beat is the fucking same.
It's still The Hangover rearing its ugly head.
Yes.
Yeah, forever.
That genre was dead upon arrival with the second Hangover.
Yeah.
And that was like 12 years ago.
I think Bridesmaids was the best one.
But Bridesmaids was...
Hot take. Bridesmaids is better than The Hangover.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd have to watch them back to back. I think I'd have to see because I don't know. I'm
probably losing my man card with our audience.
The problem
right now,
is that Zach Galifianakis is so
he's pretty
good
funny,
in the first one.
But the whole cast in Bridesmaids,
they're really good.
Yeah,
I do like Bridesmaids. So sue me.
But yeah, that's it. Like end it. Wait 10 years and start another one. Like do another one.
Yeah. We just it just needs to fucking die.
And you can tell that it's just there's no heart put into a lot of these movies. They're just like going off of a trend and they're just making another cookie cutter copy of whatever came before it that had, you know, a measure of success and made a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But I know that there were other trailers this week, but we need to get into shit we watched.
As you can imagine, we have gone a week and 4 days without recording. So I have watched a lot of shit.
Okay. We're going to have to bounce back and forth because I have probably approached what you've watched.
Oh, really?
Maybe. I've got like 9 or 10 things.
So I'll start with let me just go through the TV shows quick.
Okay.
It'll take me a minute. I won't spend much time. Have you watched Schitt's Creek on Netflix?
Oh, no. Is this that one with, oh, God.
It's Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara.
No, I haven't. Okay.
It's funny.
Okay.
Basically, Eugene Levy was like a big businessman and he got caught like embezzling or some shit. So they came and took all their money. And he had, as a joke years ago, bought a town called Schitt's Creek for his son. Like, just so he could give him the piece of paper that says, like, you're the owner of Schitt's Creek. And he thought it was funny.
Right.
So they end up losing, like, their mansion, everything. And they move to this town because he owns the town. And now they're like, it's him, his wife, who's like kind of a old soap actress who, whatever.
Okay.
And they were great together in like Best in Show, all those Christopher Guest movies.
Yeah.
And their son, which is Daniel Levy, who's Eugene Levy's real son. He's like their gay son, and then they have a daughter as well. And it's like them being like this super rich family now having to live in like the shitty, little town in a motel room and shit.
Yeah.
Pretty goddamn funny. Roland Schitt is the mayor. And he is played by the cabin boy actor who was also in Raymond, and he was Woogie in Something About Mary with all the boils all over him and shit. That actor.
Okay.
Really funny show.
Yeah.
I'm through 2 seasons.
Okay.
And it's good. I'd recommend it. I started Wolf Creek on Shudder. Wolf Creek was a horror movie from, I think, about a decade ago, where it's basically about tourists in the outback being slaughtered by this serial killer.
Oh.
Yeah, basically in this show, within the first 5 minutes, this girl's entire family is butchered by this guy, and she's out for revenge. Seems pretty entertaining. I'm like 3 episodes into it. It's not great.
Do they so they're tourists, but so they're not Australian?
No, the American family is traveling through the outback, and within the first 5 minutes, they meet up with this guy randomly, and he's like hanging out with them, and he murders 3 of the 4 family members and leaves the girl alive on accident, and she's out to get him.
Okay.
That's the plot. Very brutal to start.
I love the Australians. Like, I know, like, they're
the outback.
Yeah, I love the accent. I love, I know that, like, they would hate being defined as one thing, but there is some of it seems to be they got kind of a laid back personality a little bit.
Yeah.
Not quite as laid back as, like, New Zealand, but.
Well, that's what's kind of fun about the killer in these. And it's the same actor who played it in the movie. Like something Taylor, Chuck Taylor or something is the name of the character. And he's like, yeah, from the outback, and it's like it's just fucking weird. But yeah, I'll probably finish it. It's not great though.
Okay.
And then the big season finale of This Is Us was last week.
Oh no, so many tears.
It's effective.
He cried.
Put it that way. I didn't cry at this one, but it's good.
Bullshit.
I mean, no, trust me, I'll admit it. The show's made me cry. The first episode of that show, like the first season, episode 1, there's a part in it that's just fucking ridiculous. Like they can go fuck themselves because they're just, But yeah, it's good. There's stuff going on with Randall and the whole fam. It ended with a cliffhanger where it's like, now they're introducing some new horribly manipulative, awful situation to the fold.
How's little Timmy doing?
Little
Timmy gonna make it to next Christmas?
Yeah, I don't know who little Timmy is.
It's a Christmas Carol reference.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. Don't care.
God damn.
But yeah.
it's a sad story, Jackson.
It's good. It's good. It's still manipulative. It's still bullshit. And I still get mad at every episode, but I keep watching and it's enjoyable. So
seems
This Is
abusive.
Us on NBC. It is kind of abusive.
Yeah.
It's an abusive show.
It seems abusive. Like, it seems like an abusive relationship. You want to leave, but apparently you can't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to leave because it is good. Like, it does have, like, themes in it that are interesting. The characters none of them are, like, perfect except for one who kind of isn't, like, he's kind of still on the show. I'll just say it.
Is it the dad?
Their dad is dead.
Yeah.
So you see him in flashbacks, and he was, like, a perfect
he's
human
like
being.
Perfect, yeah.
But he's everyone else is, like, has their fallible, you know what I mean? So
he's the black-haired guy with the beard and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
He was saving the cheerleader in Heroes.
Yeah.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
God, that first season was awesome. It really was.
Yeah, that's it for shows.
Okay. I will start with the shows, or the show that I watched.
Okay.
Kim's Convenience, that one about the Korean convenience store in Canada.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this.
Newest season came out. Boy, oh boy, this show has gone way downhill.
Really?
This show is in a free fall at this point. The only good characters are the father and the mother in the show. They have the most relatable bits. There's lots of like, so this character did this, which means there's going to be a misunderstanding about this, and they're going to do this, and this character's like the second that the show starts, you can either predict what's going to happen or you can't, because it's so out of left field and not thematic or in telling or keeping with a lesson that it's just bad. So there's no way you could have seen that coming. The humor is god awful. They've ruined characters by making them unlikable. And it's to the point where I tend not to be one of those people who's like, oh, get your politics out of, my shit. But the politics in this were very kind of overt. And I know that Canada tends to be a little bit more liberal than us in America. Yeah. And I am a liberal person. So like, I have a little bit of a higher threshold for that than, say some present company might be that. But even with me, I was like, this is getting to be a little much. And they don't know how to introduce new love interests for like the young daughter of the two, the parents. It's in a free fall. It's gotten so bad. I just want to take the mother and father and just put them in a better show. I just want them to be like the convenience store that Kramer goes to, because they're so good. They could be Seinfeld characters. They're so good, but the show around them is garbage. Okay.
So are you going to bail on this one then?
I'm probably done.
All right.
Sadly. So what else did you watch?
I watched a movie, Jacob's Ladder.
Okay.
This is Tim Robbins, and basically the plot, this is a really convoluted, kind of crazy, like 12 Monkeys-ish type movie. He's a Vietnam veteran who's having like visions of these like demonic people. It's disturbing. It doesn't always work.
Okay.
It has like its messages about PTSD and whatever, and like you kind of discover that other members of his troop are having the same visions. They were all involved in some weird like government experiment, like that kind of shit. It's got a bit of a twist ending, like a 12 Monkeys-ish twist ending to it.
Right.
This is a tough one because you can't really talk about it. Mm-hmm. If people want to see it, they have to see it without having it spoiled by me.
Yeah.
But worth watching. I had been told like really good things about this, and I didn't think it was as good as people claimed it to be. Like, it certainly is no 12 Monkeys.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, basically the guy has like disturbing flashbacks and all this sorts of shit, and it's him figuring out what the fuck is going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you like that sort of thing, I would recommend it, but it's not the greatest fucking thing ever. I'll give it a B.
Okay. So in keeping, I saw a tweet from the Russo saying that if you wanted to start your Marvel marathon, you would have to start and you could do like a movie a day.
Yes.
So I actually started that.
Oh my God.
I'm actually a little behind.
So you have to watch multiple Marvel movies?
Yeah. And
are you okay? Are you burning out or no?
I'm actually, and this will come as a shock to a lot of people, but I'm actually kind of burning out. I'm like,
really?
Yeah, this is like at this point, I've watched quite a few of these multiple times.
Okay.
Because some of them are really great. And even the ones that weren't great at the time, I was like, I need that Marvel fix.
Yeah, right.
So I would watch even the crappy ones. But so I started with Captain America, the First Avenger, because I was doing the chronological thing this time. And I, as we keep going with this, how many more movies do you have?
I have...
The pause scares me. I mean, how long? How is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean,
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay. All right. We can alternate because that's about what I got. So,
and hopefully you cut out a little bit of that pause.
Maybe I'll just let these people know how long it takes you to count to 7.
Well, no, because I realized I didn't write a couple of them down.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, write them down now because it's Captain America, the First Avenger. I'm just going to do quick. Like, I could talk about some of these movies for a while, but First Avenger.
Oh, could you? Could you talk about Avengers?
No fucking way.
Captain America
right.
for a while?
So the first two acts are really strong. Steve Rogers is an incredibly likable character. The set design is pretty nice outside of the cartoonishness of the Red Skull and his sort of lair, but Hugo Weaving is still a very good villain. Even if he is cartoonish, he still puts in a good performance. I I would say so. The problems come in the third act, where like there's a sequence where Bucky dies. Spoilers, I guess, for all the Marvel movies up to this point, but whatever.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Decade worth of spoilers.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry. I'm sorry if whatever. I don't have to justify this to anyone.
You can spoil the shit out of the Avengers.
So the problem starts when there's that scene where Bucky dies. And it's just not that effective. It's not that powerful, and the fight scenes are cheap. The montage of like the battles that he goes on is a bit much. It doesn't really, and the CGI gets really wonky near the end, and it's really sad to see what they did with this really charming, heartfelt, great first act. Like
I've always felt like that one was a weird movie. Like it doesn't sit right with me when I watch it.
I think it's because World War II is known for being like this, World War II conjures certain emotions, and certain things happen. And then when they kind of make this cartoon version of it with, the double Heil for the Hail Hydra, it gets silly.
Yeah, it gets a little silly. Well, and I think that what they're going for as far as like the Captain America stuff in it is like those old, like, news clippings and whatever, like, America is off to war. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they're, and
what would have been nice though would have been like a dichotomy between that is what was sold to people here, and then this is what he experienced, and like how horrific it might have been. I think
they would have the balls to do that now if they could start over. At the time they couldn't do that.
And that's the weird thing is when you watch them in such a quick succession, is you see the problems that they were dealing with at the time with, Paramount, with Ike Perlmutter being so cheap. There were some serious problems. And now all of those early Marvel movies have a charm to them, but they're not all great.
Yeah, no. And I would say Captain America the beginning's good. As a whole, it's not great.
No, it really falls apart. The thing that kind of saves the ending is the scene where he's going down with the plane and he's saying, we never got to have that dance, and then he wakes up in the future.
Yeah, that's an interesting part.
That's when it gets good. That's the best part about the ending, but you went through so much shit before that. So it's like
they redeemed themselves big time in the second one.
Yeah, well, I'll get to that. B- on the first one.
Okay.
B- or C+. That third act is really rough. It's really rough. If it didn't have a bad third act, it'd be like a straight B.
Yeah, it almost felt like it was going for safe B territory.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's right. You said you were watching them not in the order they came out. You're watching them in
chronological.
What's next? So what else do you have?
So technically what would have been next, but I skipped it because I'm not paying to see this movie again, is Captain Marvel.
Okay.
I experienced that like a month ago. I'm good.
Okay. So which ones have you watched?
Outside
of Captain America.
I've watched up to Winter Soldier.
Okay. Do you want to talk about any of those? We're in the thick of your Marvels.
Do you want me to just
go for it? Yeah, let's just get through all of them, and then you'll go to me, and we can just do it.
Iron Man.
I will hit my vape though.
Okay. So there he goes, ladies.
Ladies. Yeah, the ladies love the vape. Vape. Yeah.
Yep. Iron Man. Fantastic. This movie, it's really good. I mean, it's really quaint. It's really quaint, especially considering where we came from. But obviously, Downey Jr. is amazing. Jeff Bridges is a nice, likable. He's a little safe. He's a little predictable as far as a villain. He lacks a certain amount of motivation, but he has so much charisma in the way that he delivers lines that it makes up for a lot. The armor is fantastic. Tony Stark's arc is great. And
it's still one of my favorite of the whole series, in my opinion. I know.
Well, and he and Gwyneth Paltrow have amazing chemistry.
The best relationship in the MCU, and I don't even think it's very close.
As far as romantic?
Just a romantic relationship.
I think the next closest
they play off of each other very, very well.
The next closest is Peggy and Cap.
Sure.
And I don't think that you never get that if you don't revisit Cap.
They're not as much fun, though.
No, they're not.
You know what I mean?
Because they have that banter.
Right.
And I love seeing...
It's probably one of my favorite Gwyneth Paltrow roles.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not a huge Gwyneth Paltrow fan.
She's got... rewatching these, I'm like, oh, this is my favorite Gwyneth Paltrow line in the entire Marvel universe, which is, she's He's like, well, sometimes Mr. Stark requires me to do such and such all the time, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes that includes taking out the trash.
Yeah.
That's a great line. It's a great fucking line said to like a hoe, basically.
Right.
Yeah. And then you forget about the balls that this movie had to end a movie by saying, I am Iron Man. What that did to the narrative is way different than what we had seen in superhero movies before that.
Right.
And then the fact that it also doubled down on being daring by having the post credits, hey, Nick Fury's here and we're going to do the Avengers. And you didn't really realize there were comic book fans. We knew what that meant, but everybody else was kind of like, hey, Sam Jackson's in this. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You didn't know what was coming.
I love the beginning with the Muslim dude that he's locked up in.
Yes.
It's
Jensen.
amazing.
Jensen,
yeah. Like that is one of the forgotten things from Marvel that was just fucking great.
It was great. And his death about I'm going to go and see my family and whatever. It was really good. It was really good. That movie is I think that movie's like an A.
I would agree. I thought it was fucking awesome. I love that movie. When I saw that, I was blown away by it.
Right? Yeah.
So
yeah, that was one of those times. I went with my my whole family went. My mom went, and she was so tired. She had a really long day at work, and she pepped the fuck up after that movie. She was just like, "Can we go see it again?" I was like, "Well, we can go tomorrow." She's like, "I was tired, and this is awesome."
It is really good.
It's a really fun time. Incredible Hulk.
Oh, you watched the old Hulk, the Hulkster.
Yep. And my God, it's one of those, it's another one. There's a trend. All of them suffer from kind of weak third acts because the first acts usually, and even the second acts usually are very strong and they just kind of falter at the finish line a little bit. This one had a great, amazing first act. I love him in South America, Peru. I love him on the run. The problem to me with this movie, and if this movie had caught on with people more than it did, we would have had a different tone in the Marvel universe. We wouldn't have had to wait for Winter Soldier for a serious tone again.
Right. Yeah.
Because this was serious. This was more serious.
This goes back to my whole problem with Hulk these days. Because to me, this is my favorite representation of Hulk in these movies. And I might be in the minority of that. I don't know. But this was okay, we're actually taking Hulk seriously.
The CGI on him, though, is it's bad.
I think it looks good. I don't have a problem with it. It's a different design of the character. It would have looked way better now if you kept it. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm not in love with it. I like the idea of he's kind of designed as a bodybuilder.
He's got rippled muscles and shit.
Yes, but it's not executed well, so it looks very fakey.
Okay.
And they didn't really know how to do the jaw thing. They wanted to have him do that classic Hulk thing where his mouth gets really big and he screams,
Yeah.
But he looks kind of jello-y when he does that. It's like there's no structure there when he does it. It looks very strange. But there are some great bits. One of the best shots of the CGI, and everybody who rewatches this movie should look out for it, is when a gunship falls down and it explodes around him and he protects Betty and he grabs her and he's in there in the flames and it's that's realistic Hulk. That looks fantastic. It's the best CGI shot of the whole movie.
I would argue that when he's in the rain, when he takes her and puts her under that rock part, that was pretty fucking fantastic too.
It's a nice little emotional scene. I don't think it works as well because it looks... when his feet are in shots, because they made him have really big feet, his ankles, it's he's got that holding liquid in your feet problem that old people get, because his feet are all swollen. It looks really weird. I know it's nitpicky. Anyways, Edward Norton, great. He's fantastic. Tim Roth. Tim Roth is weird because I like his performance, but I don't buy him. The
character could have been more fleshed out.
Well, and also,
he was good as a fucking asshole.
I don't buy him as a soldier because when he takes his shirt off and they try to do the Captain America look at me, he looks so weird because he's such a small dude.
Right.
It's I like him.
Yeah, but I think that kind of works into the character because he's he's obsessed with being a big badass and he's not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I wish. Well, and he has that line of if I could take what I knew now and put it back in the body that I had 10 years ago, that's somebody I wouldn't want to have a fight with. And I was like, yes. And then he gets the Captain America serum, which is nice. You really see They really were working shit in. But the Abomination is just such a missed opportunity, and the third act is okay. When they get onto the rooftop is when it gets to be just not great.
I like their fight scene at the end.
I like the fight in the street when it gets onto the rooftop. It's
they kind of start jumping around and winding up in different places. But that first part where he drops into the fight, Edward Norton does, and he rips the car in half and fucking uses each half as a boxing glove.
Yes, it's awesome.
It's amazing.
Awesome. It just gets the nerd part of you. Like I said, it's like a 13-year-old you is like, fuck yeah. Worst thing about the movie though is Liv Tyler. Bruce. She's so
They should have just called Jennifer Connelly and said, hey, do you want to play her again?
She would have been better. But then the real confusion of like, where does this Hulk movie take place? That gets a little, muddled. But I hate how breathy she is. She says Bruce like this, Bruce, about 4 times in the movie. And it just grates on me every time.
I always loved the General Ross or whatever.
Yes.
I love that dichotomy. He's great.
He's fantastic. And that scene, I love that scene where he's on the college campus and she screams at him and it's nice because she's not whispering, but she's like, Dad, he gets out and there's a lot of good shit in this movie. But again, I think the final act really kind of drops the ball. It made me excited for a Hulk sequel though, because he's in the end and he's meditating. Yeah. And then I'm like, if he can control the Hulk, that's an aspect I want to see. And I want to see the Hulk, I want to see the Hulk out in the woods by himself. I want to see just Hulk in the woods. Just Hulk in the woods, fighting a bear or some shit.
Hunting as Hulk.
Yes. Oh, it would be awesome.
Yeah,
it
never
would be
gonna see it.
We'll never see it. But pretty cool ending shot with the whole Days Without an Incident. Zero.
Yeah, no, I was really jacked up when I saw that movie.
So I'll give that I think I'll give that a C+ also, just because it's not great. It could have been better. There are parts that I really like, but parts that the second act drags. That's where it drags. Then I went on to Iron Man 2. This movie is hated by a lot of people.
It's not good.
It's not great.
No, it's not good.
There's a lot of stuff that's missing. But there are scenes that are good. The scene where his father is talking to him from beyond the grave. That's a pretty good one. Tony dealing with this poison in him. That's pretty good. The Monaco sequence where Mickey Rourke first shows up. That's all right. Gwyneth Paltrow and him, they work every scene that they're in together. And Downey Jr. is still great. All the acting is spectacular. And even I don't dislike the idea of the Stark Expo. That's an okay idea. But Mickey Rourke doesn't work. The action doesn't really work, except for there's the fight scene at the very end.
Sam Rockwell's pretty good.
Sam Rockwell's great.
Yeah.
You just kind of love him. There's the scene where he's bringing out all the guns to put on the War Machine armor. Right. And he's just I can tell that's not disco enough for you. He's just doing all this shit. And you're like, dude, more of Sam Rockwell.
Right. I would agree.
But yeah, that movie is... It's a C-.
It's not very good.
Yeah, it's a C-, D+ kind of movie. It just misses the mark.
It's totally obvious that it's a Avengers. That was one of the world building movies.
It was the world building movie, and now in retrospect, those aren't the weaker parts of the movie. It's just the narrative.
Okay,
because when Sam Jackson shows up and he's having the donut in the donut, that's not a bad scene. And Scarlett Johansson it's a pretty decent introduction to her character. It's just there's too much going on.
Yeah.
And Mickey Rourke is just a terrible villain. He's cartoonish.
And this is where we got cursed with Don Cheadle.
And I am fully on board with the thought that I had the other day about, he came in during what's supposed to be the contentious relationship part of their friendship. Yeah. And you never really buy them as friends.
No, it's but you guys just met now.
I didn't buy them as friends until Civil War because of that.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. But then we go to Thor 1. It's got a shit ton of charm. First act is, once again, amazing. Second act is really where it drops the ball. And even third act. Tom Hiddleston is great. Anthony Hopkins as Odin is great.
Rene Russo's pretty good in that.
Russo's pretty good. I miss the sheen. When we go to Thor 2, they tried to make it Game of Thrones, and I would say that's the first time that they tried to chase a trend. Before that, Marvel was just doing their own thing. But then they're like, well, Thor needs a little, like, we got complaints.
Some fantasy elements.
Yeah.
Some more, yeah.
Well, it was sci-fi and it was like clean. And I was like, yeah, but that's what makes them gods, is like, they don't, like, there's no discernible way that this was made. Of course it's not worn. They're fucking gods. And then you go to the second one and it looks like everybody's like it's the ghetto version of Asgard. And it's like, I thought they were gods. What's going on here?
I'm going to rewatch that soon.
Thor 2?
Yeah.
That's the worst one so far. It really is. Worse than Iron Man 2. Because there's just nothing there. Even the parts with Loki, I feel like the director didn't even understand what made Loki work in retrospect. But I'll save that for when I get to that one. Actually, that's my review of that one. That's a D-. Like, that's the closest Marvel has ever gotten to an F.
Okay.
Avengers, fantastic writing. Character work is great. Structure is fantastic. It still amazes me that it works as well as it does. Everybody has an arc. Everybody grows. You like every character. Loki is a fantastic villain for the movie. The final battle is just this awesome fireworks show that works, and it's this celebration of like, hey, we fucking pulled it off. Oh, Thor is that's another C+ movie. I'd put it right along Captain America.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah.
But Avengers that's another A. The only thing that's really truly bad to me about Avengers is the cinematography. It really does look like
a stock TV show movie.
It looks like a TV show movie for too much of it. Some of the shots are actually like,
but when they're like meeting in rooms and shit, it does. Like it feels like a TV show set. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm sure that Ultron will beat it handedly. And then, okay, so Iron Man 3. Going to Iron Man 3. Avengers is an A. So they have 2 A movies, in my opinion, at this point in their career. Then Iron Man 3, oh man, once again, nice first act. You really get excited for this Mandarin guy. Tony Stark's going through PTSD. And then I would say the movie actually deflates even before the Mandarin reveal, because the second that Tony Stark's doing like all this MacGyver shit where he's got like an oven mitt that electrocutes people, or he's got Christmas decorations that he rolls and they're bombs, and he's breaking into that palace, doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It didn't work the moment that Ben Kingsley turned into Mr. Stoner Man versus being the villain of the movie.
And it was funny, and I still laughed because it's funny.
It's just
but
a bad
it's not
move.
It's not good. And I like the themes that they're trying to do about, like, people are buying things and, like, false flag attacks,
right.
And, like, I like all of that, but it's executed so poorly. And it's weird because it's like, we've watched some Shane Black movies since this came out, and Nice Guys is fantastic.
Nice Guys is great.
And then you go to Predator and you're like, I just don't think Shane Black knows how to deal with this kind of
genre,
world.
yeah.
So yeah, that's
I hope the Nice Guys gets a sequel, by the way.
I really do.
Yeah.
C- movie. It's fine. It's barely fine. Thor: The Dark World, that's a D-. That was just awful. Malekith is such a wasted potential. It's amazing. It has none of the charm of the first one.
See, all we need to do for shit we watched to get Alex to boost his total film and TV show count is have an Avengers movie coming out. And then he's got a list.
Well, I've got to that's the thing, is I need a list. And I was sick. For like 3 days, which is why this is such a late recording.
Hold on. So after Thor 2 was what?
That was Cap 2.
Okay, so this is where you are.
Yep.
So did you watch Cap 2 yet?
Cap
or
2,
is Cap
yep.
2 next?
Cap 2 I just watched last night.
So you've hit the pinnacle of Marvel.
Pretty much.
I would say this is like arguably the best movie they've made.
It's almost an A+. It's almost an A. Like, it's so fucking good. And it's got the saddest... Okay, it's got one of the most badass action sequences when he drops on the boat. And the dude's all like, did he have a parachute? No, he didn't. And it's just like, oh, you're like, fuck yeah, America. It's got that great opening where he's meeting Anthony Mackie for the first time, and there's just instant like bro chemistry there. Winter Soldier is one of the most badass villains that they've ever had. Robert Redford is charming as fuck, even when he is a villain. It's got the saddest scene in the entire Marvel universe where Peggy is having her Alzheimer's moment, and he's all like, well, I couldn't leave my best girl.
No, it's not the saddest scene.
That's
End of Guardians 2 is sadder.
I don't know.
And the end of Guardians 2 is pretty fucking sad.
It's pretty fucking sad. I'll have to see how I feel in the moment. I was going to say, like, Phil Coulson dying was a pretty sad moment.
That might be it.
But it breaks my heart seeing Peggy have this conversation, and then she just turns back and she's all like, Steve. Like, she's forgotten that she's been in this conversation with him. It's just heart-wrenching. And the fight scenes are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a really good action movie.
It's got a great soundtrack. I think it's really highly underrated by a lot of people. This movie is a fucking A.
Yeah, it's a good movie. If it wasn't a superhero movie, it would be like a great action thriller film that people would give more respect. Right. No, but I'm saying like people would,
people would actually respect
take it
more
seriously.
Right. Yeah. You take the costumes out and people would be like, fuck yeah, this is a great Jason Bourne.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I love this movie.
I do too. That's a really good one.
Yeah. So that's my shit I watched.
Jesus.
I watched a really bad TV show and then another pretty decent TV show.
So, real quick, a couple of them I'll get through very fast. I watched this movie Castle Freak. It was based on a H.P. Lovecraft story. Basically, this family moves into a castle after the owner of the castle died. They're like a long lost relative or whatever. It gets given to them. And there's this guy who's been chained up in the basement of this castle by his mother, the woman who died, who owned the castle, and has never seen another person in his life. And he's like a freakish, like crazy looking impish character who has never seen himself in the mirror either. He gets out and he's scary and he attacks the family. It was actually pretty effective.
Oh,
pretty good. And it was based on a short story, The Outsider by H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I went and read that. It was 6 pages. And it was even better than the movie.
Oh, okay.
So the movie was like it takes the family's point of view. This monster lives in the house. The story basically is from the point of view of him, and there's no one else really there. It's kind of like a Frankenstein tale where he breaks out and gets out of this castle and he goes to this like village or whatever, and like he's never seen what he looks like, and he sees these people and they're looking at like over at him like he's a freak, and he looks in the mirror, and that's like how it ends, is him like looking in the mirror and realizing he's a monster. It was good. It was pretty good.
Okay.
I went on a vampire kick.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, and 3 movies. So I finally, for the first time ever, watched Nosferatu, the 1922 silent film.
Right. Okay.
If people don't know who Nosferatu is, Google it and you'll see the picture. It's just he's the white vampire that you see with like the 2 pointy fucking teeth right in the front, whatever. Silent movie.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like I could not believe it watching, and I'm like, wow, this is still like kind of creepy. Like, even though it's like, the acting is like that silent movie acting where somebody like looks like they're acting like super out, like,
yes.
And then all of a sudden the words they're saying pop up on the screen. You got to read it, whatever.
Yeah.
But like the cinematography, the way the shadows are done with the vampire and shit, it's so iconic, and you can see why.
How long is this movie?
It's like an hour and a half.
Okay.
Worth watching. It's just, if you're a film buff, it's interesting to watch, because it is like supposedly it's like the birth of horror, basically. And like it still works, and that's it works in a different way,
right?
I'm sure,
right?
But it still works. It's still like effective, which is
impressive,
kind of amazing.
Yeah.
So I watched that, and then I wasn't aware that there is a quite beloved in its own right Nosferatu remake from the 70s.
Okay.
So I watched that, and it's not as good. Even though it's better, like as a film, like sure, like there's actual actors, dialogue, whatever. But yeah, it's not as good. And then the real gem of this, well, Nosferatu's the gem, but
Twilight.
No. Have you? I don't know if you remember this, but there was a movie in 2000, Shadow of the Vampire.
Is this the one with? Oh God, there was that lady singer.
No. This is Willem Dafoe and John Malkovich, and it's about the making of Nosferatu.
No. Okay.
And John Malkovich is I forget the guy's name, like J.W. Moreau or whatever, who directed it. And,
okay.
And Willem Dafoe plays
the
actor who plays Nosferatu,
right.
but he's actually a vampire.
In real life.
Yes.
Oh.
It's pretty goddamn hilarious. And he's like a difficult person to work with. Like basically John Malkovich wants like everyone to be like as authentic as possible, and he somehow met this vampire, and he basically he makes a deal with the devil essentially to say, be in my movie, I'll do this. And Willem Dafoe plays the vampire, and nobody but John Malkovich knows it's a vampire. He basically tells the whole cast, like, look, he's a method actor, he's only gonna shoot at night.
This is awesome.
And Willem Dafoe, he's like difficult. Like,
what is this called?
It's called Shadow of the Vampire.
I'm watching this.
And Willem Dafoe is fucking great. He was nominated for an Oscar for this.
When did this come out?
2000, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's highly recommend. I'd recommend all three. Nosferatu, I feel like, is a must watch just because. But that Shadow of the Vampire, pretty clever, pretty funny.
I'm on board.
And Willem Dafoe is just like hamming it up, like he can't help himself.
He
but
can
just
do that.
Bite people, and it's funny.
Yeah,
But yeah, I love the idea that he's like difficult to work with.
Right.
Like they just can't. He can't get him to cooperate. But that was funny. I watched Puppetmaster, The Littlest Reich.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Pretty bad.
Okay.
The gore, like the fact that they went all out on this as far as the gore factor is concerned was kind of fun. It's the guy who made Bone Tomahawk who made this.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's so bad though. Like basically the puppets are Nazis, and the guy running the puppets is a Nazi, and like 30 puppets get loose in a hotel. Like there's like an auction going on of the puppets because all these people are aware that these puppets had done this in the past. But some of the murders, like there's one where a guy's taking a piss in the toilet, and this like helicopter puppet comes in and cuts his head off. The head falls into the toilet, and he's still peeing on his own head.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, not very good. I'll give it a C- for trying.
Okay. Wow. It feels generous after that.
Okay, so that's
the
another
scene that you choose.
That's the one. No, so that's one of those movies where it's like it's bad, but it's like I was entertained watching it. Like they weren't trying to go gangbusters with like a real movie.
Sounds like Snakes on a Plane. The second that you were like, dude got killed in a toilet.
Yes.
I was like, oh yeah, like the snake came out and bit the dude's dick.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, gotcha.
And Snakes on a Plane was kind of entertaining.
It was so dumb, but yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you laugh.
Hellraiser I watched this week.
The original
Hellraiser. God, is it good. I'm giving it an A.
Okay.
Straight up A.
Right.
Because it's lean and mean. It's the guy, if you don't know Hellraiser, essentially this guy found this puzzle box. He opened it. He was being tortured. He somehow escaped. And this woman has to keep murdering people in this room to bring this guy slowly back to life in full form.
Yep.
And it's so fucking fucked up. And like the makeup is so good on these. And he made it for like nothing. It's
a tour de force of directing.
It's impressive.
Yep.
I think, and the characters are all kind of scumbags. It's not like a deep movie, but I think it was made for less than $1 million and it made like $35 million. So it's a classic. Yeah, but what's his name is fucked up. Clive Barker. He's got a twisted fucking mind. There's one line in it that's great at the end when the bad guy's got the hooks in him and he's being pulled apart by the pinhead and the Cenobites or whatever. And he just looks at the fucking camera and goes, Jesus wept. like smiling, and you're just like, this is fucking amazing. But yeah, so Hellraiser. And then the last thing I watched, I had never even heard of this, and this is a gem.
Okay.
It's called Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Okay.
So in this movie, like the slasher characters like Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy, all those characters, they exist.
Oh.
Like this is like, and it's a mockumentary. So it's like a fake documentary. Basically, this guy invites this documentary filmmaker to come follow him as he's going to create the next legacy.
Oh, he's going to be
the next slasher.
Oh.
And it is fucking funny because like the whole time, like, okay, for instance, he's like taking her through like for the final confrontation, you know, he's like taking her through the house or whatever. He's like, and I've nailed these windows shut, you know, like they won't be able to get out. Like, you know, I've set this up, you know, whatever. She's going to come in here and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, why wouldn't they just break out the windows? Then he just looks at her and he's like, you'd be surprised. Like, you'd think that'd be what they do. But
does he have a mask on while he's wearing this?
he does at one point.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I just love the idea of he's just like, just talking through the mask like the whole time.
No, he doesn't have the mask usually, but like he sets up circumstances where he's like, this is what we're going to do. She comes out every night to smoke a cigarette at the diner. Like she's the virgin, you know, like who I'm kind of going to stalk for a while.
Right.
She comes out every night to smoke a cigarette. I'm going to stand over there and like, I'm going to make a noise and she's going to look over and see me and then like look away and I'm going to hide. And then she won't know if she saw me or not. He like sets up all these tropey, you know,
feels very much like oh god, it feels like What We Do in the Shadows by way of like Cabin in the Woods.
Yes, it's a commentary on the genre.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
It is. It's really fun.
This is two of the things that you've listed. I'm going to check out both.
I had a lot of fun with it. It's not like you can tell a lot of money wasn't spent on it, but what else is hilarious? So there's the Ahab. Okay, so Captain Ahab or whatever was he was a Moby Dick character who like he has the past history with the monster.
Right. Yeah,
so like in Halloween it would be Dr. Loomis, you know, and like
I shot him six times.
So in this one, like the Ahab shows up, played by Robert Englund. So he shows up and like he's thrilled. The slasher's thrilled. Like, we have one, you know, like you have to have one for your, you know. It's pretty goddamn funny. I was impressed.
Oh man.
Whether I would be interested to hear what you thought of it, because you can tell like whoever made it was passionate about the subject matter. It's not the most well-made thing.
Right.
But it's a fun idea. It doesn't make any sense because who would make a documentary watching someone murder people?
Right.
But it works and it's funny.
It would be great if it was like the last shot is this person getting arrested.
Right. Well, and they even have a bit where like, okay, so he's got like a mentor in this, the slasher guy does. He's like a retired guy and he's like talking. And it's actually the old dude who was in The Walking Dead for a while. He played Herschel.
Okay.
But he's like, you know, they're interviewing him and he's like, you know, and when Mike and Jay and Fred came, you know, they really changed the game because it used to just be like hit him and quit him. And when they kept coming back, it's pretty goddamn funny.
Like he's talking about like these like sports legends.
Yes, yeah, right. But yeah, that's it. That's it for shit we watched. That's it.
That's it. All right. Star Wars is back.
Yes, Star Wars is back. So I went to the Star Wars celebration yesterday. That was Friday. So I was there. I didn't get into the big event across the street.
I know you all think that we've got some clout, but
no,
we really
I
don't.
didn't win the lottery. And apparently I was in line to meet Ian McDiarmid, who plays the Emperor. I got my picture taken with him. I'll throw that up on the website or whatever. But yeah, I was in line and the guy in front of me is like, yeah, I did win the lottery and got in, but you could have just walked in. Apparently they weren't checking shit. So I'm so pissed I wasn't in there. But yeah, first, before we even get into the trailer.
Okay, well, hold on real quick.
Sure.
They weren't checking shit.
No.
After releasing one of the most hated Star Wars movies, was there security there?
Yeah, I mean, there was security. Like, you would have had to walk through, but they weren't checking your ticket at the entrance this guy went in. They weren't, like, scanning your badge or anything.
All right.
But yeah, so before we even get into the trailer,
how about that nerd culture?
I was just gonna say, so I'm a huge Star Wars fan. It's my favorite movie series of all time. Some of the movies I don't think are good.
Right.
But in general, I love the.
That's how you know it's true love is you look past the warts.
Some people don't, and they are like hyperventilating. Like, I was in the exhibition hall watching it on a screen that was some ways away.
Yep.
The trailer and everything.
Yep.
But there are people that are like losing their fucking mind, and they have like beards, and they're adults. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm all for like a passionate group of people. Like, it was neat to be around the fans or whatever when this was happening, but it's a little much.
Don't yuck somebody's yum.
It's a little much, Alex.
I know. It's I mean, I try not to give these people shit, but when you're there and you're forced to see it, like, I'm not going to like go to somebody's like reaction channel where they're crying at the new Star Wars. Like, I'm not going to be like, you're a fucking loser. But when you're forced to sit there with them, that's a different thing.
And I mean, it was fun because it's just such a spectacle that everybody around is like obsessed with this thing. Like, the guy in front of me was wearing like a Wampa costume, and like he was jumping for joy. Like, hyperventilating
for this trailer.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Should we just get into this trailer?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the topic of the week is kind of, you know, Star Wars, the new trailer, and where is it going, and should it go there?
All right. My thoughts.
Yeah.
There's people that are upset that the big reveal is the Emperor laughs at the end of the trailer.
Yep.
He's back. Yep. So in some form, the Emperor Palpatine is back. He survived, or is a Force ghost or something.
Yeah.
That's great to me. I don't care. Like, come up with whatever you want. I am done believing Star Wars is the be all end all of the fucking universe. If you have found a way to bring a fun character back, and you know that he's going to give a fun performance, seeing him back is going to be great. I don't give a shit. I don't understand how it's even possible to do it.
Right.
Like, the whole point is at the end of Return of the Jedi, he is vanquished, he is gone.
Right.
But Ian McDiarmid back as Emperor Palpatine, sign me up.
Right. I'm of two minds on it. Like most things I'm of two minds on. This is it's nice that you have a good charismatic character in this franchise, because you're kind of lacking those.
Yes.
You have Kylo Ren, who is probably the most engaging of the bunch. I have a sweet spot for Poe because I liked the way that he carries himself, but I'm not a big fan of the other two.
Can I stop you there? Yeah. That's what's sad is, like, after Force Awakens, I would have said that you had a bunch of new exciting characters.
Yeah.
And then in Return of the Jedi, The Last Jedi, you kind of killed the momentum for most of them for me. I'm no longer excited about them.
Right. Yeah, I'm not excited about their characters. And it's one of those things where you look at them and you're like, you know, there's something to be said about, you know, what the Avengers series has done with, like, Cap, and, you know, like how he sort of evolved over time. And you look at Rey, and it's like, she's wearing the same shit she was when we saw her in the first movie.
Still. Luke was wearing like a black outfit.
Yeah. I mean, that was the nice thing.
He had grown as a character in every movie.
Yeah. And you could see it through the costume design, and you're not seeing it here, which is indicative of this entire franchise, which is why when I watched this trailer, I was like, it's fine. Like, of course I'll see it. That's not the point. The point is did it get me excited? And it didn't, because, okay, sure, you can play like the whole, like, hey, remember the Emperor? You remember how much you liked the Emperor?
I'm excited to see the Emperor.
It's just it's the exact thing that I've been saying about Star Wars since it came back, which is it's just the same old shit over and over and over again. Yeah. Same characters, same themes, same ships, same weapons. Same settings. It's the same shit.
Yeah, I will be excited that it will be over, and hopefully they will fucking get in a room and figure out something new that they can do.
Yeah. And then, okay, there's a shot in this where Kylo Ren's running through like a forest and he like sort of
choke slams dude or whatever.
He's got his lightsaber. Why didn't it like cut right through the dude?
Well, I think he like picked him up and slammed him. I don't know.
I think you people need to watch this because I'm pretty sure that the lightsaber's just kind of dangling in front of the dude, like not doing anything.
Okay, see, you're getting into the weeds here.
Well, watch
Lando's
it, people.
back.
Lando's back. He made me a little sad because boy, oh boy, does he look old.
I mean, okay. Here. Let me be the optimistic person on the panel today.
Okay.
JJ knows how to make an entertaining, fun action movie.
Right, and I would not deny that.
Yes, it will be derivative.
Yep.
Okay, we should expect that.
Yeah.
We should expect that it will be now. Is it going to be a shot-for-shot Return of the Jedi rehash? I doubt it.
Right.
But let's think here. Does Kylo Ren and Emperor Palpatine sharing a scene together? Perhaps Emperor Palpatine, like we never got into this Knights of Ren thing.
Right.
Maybe Palpatine is secretly like somehow involved in all that shit.
Right.
That sounds fun.
I mean, it would be nice. It would give, I mean, this is sort of where we're going into like maybe story potential now. And there is something nice to be said about, Kylo Ren never met Darth Vader. He never met the Emperor. He's going to be talking to somebody who directly knew his grandfather, who was the basis for who he's trying to be. So that's interesting from a character perspective.
If that's what they're doing.
If that's what they're doing. I really hope that if we are going to do this, we're going to dive into, Force ghosts and maybe the Force a little bit more. Like I've said, everybody's like, oh, it's this mysterious Force. And when you try to explain it, you ruin it. Yeah, but at some point, there's no expansion on the lore. There hasn't been expansion on the lore since probably Empire Strikes Back, really.
Well, they expanded on the lore with the midi-chlorians.
Oh, that's true. I like to pretend that didn't happen. That made it worse because midi-chlorians is the exact example of what you don't do, which is like you took it and you made it a science.
Which ruins the concept entirely.
All you need to do is have it still be space magic, but it's space magic, and now here's an explanation for why it works in this space magic.
Yeah, or there's just other like stories you tell that involve the space magic or whatever. But.
Right. Well, like why do Force ghosts exist? How do they do it? What's the ramifications of what that means to the Force? Does that have an effect on the Force? All these things, like you could ask interesting questions of the Force and Force ghosts with this movie. Not sure they're going to do it.
I think JJ's just going to make a lean, mean fighting machine of a movie.
Yep.
That's what he's going to do. It's going to be callbacks. It's going to be fun. It's going to be structured in a way where it's not boring.
Yeah.
I expect it to be like a Force Awakens type movie.
I like hearing Luke again.
And he actually sounds like he doesn't hate his life and want to.
Nothing ever really dies. Like, that's great. Like, he's definitely going to cut. Like, I hope to fucking God he's not just in one scene as like a Force ghost Luke. And then he's just like, here's your motivation. Here, I'm going to send you off on the plot. And then he's just gone. Like, I don't want that.
Let's just go for ridiculousness. Let's have Luke Force Ghost versus Emperor Palpatine Force Ghost. Emperor Palpatine Force Ghost doesn't have a lightsaber.
Right.
No lightsaber for Emperor in this movie. That's a prediction, by the way.
Why they should not do it is because they're Force ghosts, so therefore their battle should be different. It should be. Yes. That's the tool of the physical world for the Jedi.
And the Emperor never should have had a lightsaber.
No, he shouldn't. No, it's what separated him. It's what made him unique.
Yeah, him and Yoda should have never fought each other because neither one of them ever should have had a lightsaber.
Well, they shouldn't. Well, they should have fought, but they should never have had no lightsaber. Yeah.
Because the characters are fun. Like a fight between them sounds fun.
Yeah. I don't even care. Anyways, I don't want to talk about the prequels. I don't want to deal with that. But I mean, okay, if we're going to be ridiculous, let's just be full ridiculous. Let's have our real Luke be in this. And Force Ghost Luke is throughout the whole fucking movie. He's Ghost Mentor, and he's the best Force Ghost because he learned how to maintain it. He's just walking around. I don't care. We didn't get enough Luke, and what we did get of Luke
was weird.
I didn't like. I want my Luke.
You're one of those Star Wars fans.
I want my Luke.
Well, and let's talk about the fandom, by the way, for this, because you've got fans on Reddit who are like who bitched about The Last Jedi, but now they're bitching because it's like derivative again. It's like, I'm sorry, but
it never stopped being derivative. That's the whole point.
Yeah, see, that's what's funny about The Last Jedi is it is like everybody says, like the fans of The Last Jedi will say, well, they did something different and you're pissed about it. But it's like, you didn't really. It still was like the bad guy in the black costume is after the trained Jedi girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and like it was surprising with how weird it was. Some of the decisions that they were made that like kind of bucked the expectations or whatever, but it wasn't a good movie.
No, it gets worse. It gets worse upon revisits every time, which is why I've stopped watching it at this point. Probably won't go back.
I'm going to watch. I'll be doing an eight Star Wars movie.
You're gonna pull an Alex and watch a Star Wars movie a day?
But that'll only take me a week.
I know. Yeah, the fact that it's gonna take me like 2.5 weeks.
Hold on, it'll take me a little longer if I want to throw Rogue One and Solo in there.
Ugh.
See, I think Solo, you're mean on Solo. I like Solo.
Solo is one of those movies where it has something I like and then it has something I don't like, and it just keeps happening like that.
It's like a revolving, yeah.
So
that's kind of what The Last Jedi is like watching too, to be honest.
Sometimes, well, yeah, that whole like bit where the sound goes out and it splits the thing.
Yes.
You're like, that's awesome. Also, it breaks your universe from a narrative perspective, because why isn't this how war is fought all the time?
Yeah.
Stupid. You don't have to make it a ship. You can just have that be how your missiles work in space. It's just dumb.
It makes Han a little less heroic in A New Hope if he could have just bursted into light speed and ran into the Death Star and killed himself, made the ultimate self-sacrifice for the galaxy.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, it's so weird that the Emperor is coming back.
It's weird. There was a point, there was a moment, and I actually got more excited by this, when I was like, is that Hamill's like Joker laugh?
No. Yeah.
Well, even then, when you did that, I was like, you could be doing the Joker laugh.
I'm doing the Chucky laugh.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, they all just sort of bleed at some point. But that would have been interesting. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like cinematography looks nice. Here's where there's a problem. If the Emperor can come back, can Darth Vader come back? I mean, why not, right? And then the question is which Darth Vader are we doing?
Well, and then how do they stop themselves from doing that? Because they know they have that fucking card they can lay down where it's like you have the most iconic bad guy arguably in film history, and you're bringing the Emperor back. Like, the movie's called The Rise of Skywalker. I was going to say, what does that mean?
We haven't talked about that. What does that mean? What do you think that means? Do you have theories, or are you just going to let JJ take you on a magical ride?
Hey, fuck it, let's let JJ tickle my nostalgia train makes me want Darth Vader back. That's not what this is, though. There's no way.
Rise of the Skywalker.
Someone did pull a screen grab from the trailer and put it next to a screen grab from The Force Awakens of the ship that left when they left Rey on Tatooine. Sorry.
Oh, gee.
Sorry. Jakku.
Almost like it's derivative. Anyways.
But yeah, so that, and it is the same ship.
Okay, so they're going to deal with her parentage.
Somehow the parentage is coming back in this.
Good.
So... really? Because I didn't mind the whole, like, it doesn't matter who her parents are. They were just nobody's
yes
thing.
And no. Like, it's just the fact that, like, you set it up and then it's just nothing. It's like, should it have been set up in the first place? Probably not. But when you set it up and it's nothing, it just feels hollow. Like, it should have just been her parentage was never a part of the story.
Yeah, but then Rian Johnson wanted to go, hey.
Subverted your expectations.
By the way, props to Rian Johnson for basically saying that he would not mind if JJ fucks with his movie and retcons it or whatever. And for coming out when the trailer released and saying, I love this trailer.
Yeah.
Even though it's the opposite of everything that he did.
Right.
So give him a little bit of kudos.
Absolutely.
I would say.
Yeah. And I don't hate Rian Johnson. I think Looper's a great movie.
I love that meme that's already out that like it's the title card of the movie with Star Wars and like the big letters, and in the middle it just says Star Wars Episode 9, fixing everything Rian Johnson fucked up.
Yep. It's basically what it is. I mean, and that's why
like we know.
That's what I don't like about this series, though. Is like, it's a series without a plan. And that's why
they should have had a plan. Why didn't they just let JJ make a trilogy?
I don't know. Did he want to? I thought he didn't want to do the second.
I mean, he would have, though.
Probably. I think the pressure of doing like the whole trilogy, considering what it means to society, probably deterred, and it still deterred people. Because people are like, I don't want to be the Rian Johnson who ruined Star Wars. Yeah. Ruined Johnson.
It is fucked up because like the Force Awakens was like a really solid movie that introduced you to a bunch of characters
that you were interested to see. It was very derivative.
It was obviously like a Jurassic World type, complete like reboot.
Fully agree. Yeah,
but it brought you back to like Star Wars can feel like Star Wars again. It doesn't have to be a prequel type nonsense deal,
right?
And then, if they would have had JJ do the whole thing, I guess the fear would be he would have just done the same thing with Empire in episode 8.
Right.
And then he would have had a Return of the Jedi clone for episode 9. So they broke that. But the problem is that Ryan kind of went too far the other way, where it was like, okay, this is just not. First off, it's not a very good movie.
I don't think that the character changes are interesting in any way.
No, the characters don't go like at the end of the movie. There's no different. Like you could skip 8, I feel like, and especially if this is going to have a time jump, like JJ said on the panel.
Yep.
Do you need 8?
I don't think you do.
Besides killing Luke, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
We kind of forget that 7 kind of leaves off on a really big cliffhanger. So that's kind of
then 8 is we killed Luke.
Yeah.
And by the way, Luke's kind of a grump and he's not very likable of a guy.
Yeah, almost like we didn't have any likable characters in this movie. I don't know. It's just such a. I cannot believe like how starry-eyed I left 7 with like the idea of like where are these characters going to go. This is a pretty decent introduction to Rey and Poe and Finn, and like
I was really excited that we had some really likable characters.
Right. Well, and I was like, oh, this is cool because like Finn, we could maybe do like, his history and what does it mean that you were raised this way? And like that was an interesting perspective to do with Finn.
Oh, you watch 8 and you almost forget that he was like a stormtrooper and shit.
Yeah. And it's such wasted potential with him. And Rey goes nowhere. She basically is just herself the whole movie. The only thing she learns is that her parents weren't anybody, which is like, okay, I guess that's integral to the character, but is that interesting? Not really. I don't know. It's just, I wish I was excited about this. I'll still see it. It's just,
I'm excited to see old Palps back on the screen and hopefully in his robes with his overacting self. And, you're going to get a character, a fun, goofy, evil wizard character.
Yep.
Kylo Ren.
You can just picture how he's going to say the characters' names. That's just total fan service, though.
It is fan service.
It's JJ going, you know what?
Star Wars Rise of the Fan Service. That's what this really should be called.
But I had this conversation with another buddy last night via text, like saying it like, he's a Force Awakens hater because it's derivative. And I'm like, sorry, the man knows how to make a Spielberg-esque solid movie.
Yes. I mean, that's the thing is I know I'll enjoy the ride, but the part of me that says like this is just sort of a creatively bankrupt universe at this point is so disappointing.
The Rich Evans in you.
Yeah, he's
not wrong. Like someone could prove him wrong.
Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, you got that from Rich Evans." We actually had a text conversation before I even saw that video, where I was like, that's how I was feeling after, was it Rogue One, where I was like, oh my God, it's another Death Star. It's another, and I understand, like,
we both walked out of Rogue One like, okay.
Like, we can't do this anymore. Like, I just can't do this anymore. I need something new. And nobody has any new ideas. Like, no new weapons, no new themes,
I'm gonna say
new worlds.
Rich Evans, they could prove him wrong if they really wanted to. That you could take Star Wars and you could create something entirely new. Now, does Lucasfilm and Disney have the balls to do something completely different? Like, completely different. Like, not have...
No lightsabers.
Spaceships, lightsabers, gunfights.
Right.
Like, do they have the balls to make a drama in like a fucking weird?
No side swipes for the scene transitions.
Why not? I mean,
no crawl. Well, I guess they did the no crawl for Solo.
They
right?
did it for Solo and Rogue One.
Oh, both. Right.
Yes.
Okay. I forgot about.
But why not try it? Fuck it.
It's just, it's to the point. It's like, could you imagine every Marvel movie opened with an AC/DC song and Robert Downey Jr., landing on a stage?
I think the crawl's the least of their concern.
I understand. I'm just saying, it's the idea that there's a formula for a Star Wars movie in general is the problem.
Buck the formula. Yeah, yes. Right.
That's where I'm at. Done with the formula. People are like, you're a Marvel fan. You're not done with the formula. I don't care. And
you know what though? I'm not going to be mad if it's a derivative movie and it's good. Mm-hmm. I don't care. If you do things with the characters that makes me like them again, and I have my moment of giddy happiness because good old Sheev Palpatine comes back and he's evil as can be, and you finally have a fun evil fuck who relishes being evil again. Right. And he slaps old Kylo bitch boy Ren around a little bit. That's going to be fun.
Right.
But
that's the situation, it's derivative, but it makes you like the characters again, I'll probably like it. Like, I'm calling it right now. Like, if that's the situation, you'll like it. You'll be like B+, A-. I'll be like a B-, because I'll be like, yeah, you made me like him again, but
that's
it's derivative.
That's not fair, though. If it's good, you need to grade it based on how good it is.
No, but I can still be upset that it's derivative. You're going to
docket points for being derivative.
At this point, the franchise gets no more passes for being derivative. You got your pass.
I mean, there's a chance. Like, they have that scene in the trailer with the Death Star, like, in ruins that's laying on the planet or whatever. Like, there's some really fucking cool stuff you could do with that.
That's the thing that makes me excited and scared. It's
like, are they going to have the scene where they have to travel into the Death Star ruins to find the item of what? Like, that sounds fun.
I hope it's not an item. I hope there's no MacGuffin or anything in this.
There's a Star Wars. There's a MacGuffin. There's a MacGuffin in every there's a MacGuffin in every Marvel movie.
Right. And I hope there isn't at this point. I'm just kind of done with MacGuffins. I feel like these movies need to move beyond the MacGuffin. I feel like
you could just name him JJ Lens Flare MacGuffin at this point.
That's a pretty catchy name there.
Yeah.
MacGuffin. He's like the MacGyver of movies.
Episode 9. The MacGuffin.
He'll hobble together a real nostalgia porn for you.
What do you think of JJ? Are you a JJ fan?
I mean, I like his Star Wars movie. I liked Lost when it first started. I like
his Star Trek movies, both of them.
Yeah. The second one dropped off a little bit for me, but I like him.
It's not a great Star Trek movie, but it's a good movie. It's entertaining.
It's entertaining. It's a little too much of, hey, you
Super
remember?
Super 8 was good.
I said I never saw Super 8.
Yeah, that was good.
I heard that one was pretty good. I don't know. I like him. I have faith it'll be good. I'm just disappointed that it's going to be more of the same. And there's always potential with Star Wars to do something new and cool because it's Star Wars. It could be cool. It's
Space Wizards. What's
space,
not cool?
Yes.
Yeah.
But do it new, unique. Take it places. Just please, just do something. But That's how I feel.
You just bring back Emperor Palpatine.
Yep. You make one half of the world happy.
I mean, I like laughed when I heard the laugh and I saw him come out, roll it again, or whatever he said. I was laughing because I'm like, yep, they know. Like this is the same nonsense. They're going to get a ton of shit for this. And I'm just like, fuck it. I don't care. I'm happy to see him back.
It is interesting because I bet you there are a ton of people who even listen to this podcast who are like, I knew that this was Jackson's reaction, and I knew that this was Home at the Movies reaction, and the second that the trailer dropped, we knew that it was going to be this, like, it's the same old, but it's great and I love it. You know, it's like, you just knew that there was no way that there was going to be a consensus on it.
Well, it's like, I have a problem with people who like talk about The Force Awakens being derivative as if like, do you not understand that they knew what they were doing? Like, it's purposefully derivative.
Right, but does that mean that that's a pass? Like,
no,
I don't
people
think
acting like they're all clever, like, oh, they're just doing the same fucking thing. Like, you know, I hate this movie because of this. Like, I'm sorry, but it's a fun fucking movie. Like, Jurassic World is not good. The Force Awakens is good.
Right.
And they're they're doing the same thing.
They're both doing the same thing. I think the idea is, like, just because it's intent doesn't mean that it's good. Like, just because you're going in with the intent of being derivative doesn't mean that you're therefore good, because they both went in with that intent. It's the execution that matters.
But you can make a good homage and you can make a bad one, and you can do a good version or a bad version.
We're both saying the exact same thing. It's execution that matters.
I don't think that your argument of, oh, it's the same is an argument that says therefore it's bad. I don't think that that's tied together.
No, it's not. One does not necessarily follow the other. My whole point is that I'm tired of it.
Okay.
And I think that other people are tired of it. It could still be enjoyable.
Do you think this is going to be like a Return of the Jedi ripoff, or what do you think this is going to be?
I don't know.
Or do you think it's going to be like kind of a blend where it's like you've got your nostalgia bits in there?
I think they're smart enough to know that they can't just do another straight basic remake.
And they can't do a Last Jedi thing that pisses everyone off again.
This might be the best of the series.
It could be.
It might be the best of the series.
Because they'll toe the line. Maybe this is like...
But
maybe this is the perfect blend of the two.
But the question for me is it too little too late? You know, because I'm just so uninterested in these characters at this point. I mean, never would have had this reaction if we lived during the 70s and early 80s for the original trilogy. I'd be like, oh my God, crazy. Luke is so different. He's wearing black now. What the fuck? Is he bad? You know, like, you don't know. Like, you were so on board with those characters. He turned? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's just kind of like, well, there's Rey again. Just doing her Rey thing.
Oh, she's in her
she's in her weird sleeves that she's, you know, she's always got to have those shoulders out. I wonder if she's like really pale underneath like the sleeve. Like, she never takes them off. So it's just like really tan here.
Yeah. I mean, she should be.
That's,
I'm dying to see what happened with Rose.
Oh God. Did we even see her in this?
No, but she was at the thing. She's prominent role in the movie.
Okay.
Her and Finn. I mean, I can't wait to see the culmination of their romance.
I can't believe that was even set up. Like, I don't care about romance in Star Wars. It's one of the best things in Empire.
No. Remember that? Like the amazing romance in Empire?
But it's like the execution on, oh God. It's just, we're talking ourselves in circles.
Yeah, I guess we can end it there.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah. Make sure you go to boredandanoid.com and, check out where you can hear us, subscribe to us, rate us, email us, befriend us,
send us
hate mail,
send us P.O. Box stuff.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
I want to send you those green cookies for Troll 2.
Troll 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have the P.O. Box anymore. I'll have to look into that.
Did you
shut
I
don't
know
know if I renewed it.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, you can just send them right to my house. My address is